Hey folks, this is Shock and we're going to do another video on how to ride a motorcycle. This video is going to be targeted more towards people that have never ridden on a motorcycle. Maybe you've never even sat on one. Maybe you don't know how to shift, maybe you don't know how to balance, maybe you don't know how to counter steer. All these things, we're going to talk about them. Now, when you first start off on a motorcycle, I would suggest when you're new, if you are going to be going on the freeways, no higher than a 600 motor or a 500 cc motor. If you're going to be going on the streets, I like the Kawasaki Ninja 250. Pretty cool. Now, you don't want to start off on this motorcycle. This is a SV1000. See how it says S? That's just because it's semi-fairing. Notice there's a fairing on the bottom and then there's a fairing up top. They have one that doesn't have a front windshield and one that doesn't have the bottom fairing. And then they look really cool when they're all tricked out. They even have a fairing that goes over the motor. So it's very hot today in California, so let's get started. Now, the first thing I would do if you want to ride, if you want to be a motorcycle rider, is I would do two things. The first thing is I would register with what's called MSF. That's the Motorcycle Safety Foundation. And they have like a little class. They'll charge you a nominal fee. And I would just get your own helmet first. And then you're going to need high top shoes similar to this. Make sure they're covering your ankle. You can get them at like sporting goods stores. Real cheap. And get you some gloves, and don't get cloth gloves. Make sure you get like leather gloves or textile gloves, you know. And then register for MSF, and then you'll be able to sit on the motorcycles and even ride them slowly in a parking lot, and they'll teach you how to do it, right? But the first thing I would do is learn how to shift, learn how to brake, learn what each thing on the motorcycle does. Traditionally on motorcycles, like Japanese motorcycles like this one, the front is the front brake, and then the front right lever, and then down here where your foot rests is the rear brake, okay? Let's mosey on over here. The left side traditionally is shifting, as you guys know. It's like a car. You know how on a car you put your left foot in on the clutch if you're shifting a manual car, you know, not automatic. And you put your left foot in, and that's what this is. You would put your left foot in, right? Here you're going to use your hand. And then what do you do in a car? Then you shift with your right hand, right, with the gear. Well, here what you're going to do is with your left foot, you're going to shift using this. And this is the part that confuses people, but if you imagine a ladder, going up and down a ladder, all the way down is first, and then as you kick up, you put your foot underneath here, you go second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then as you're approaching a light and you need to stop, you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, keep in mind, what I do is every time you go to shift a gear, I pull the clutch lever in. That's what I do. Now, we also have the zero gravity windscreen on because we're going to be hitting some high speeds on the freeway and it gets very windy, but you'll be able to hear me still. So let's do this. We're going to put the camera in the visor. Very small camera. I'm using the Kodak V as in Victor 570. So you notice we're hands free. So now what you do, you always want to approach from the left side of the motorcycle. Swing your leg over. We're going to get started. And then when you're new, drive around the parking lot for a while. And let's start this. The way I have to start it is I pull the clutch lever in and I press this. There we go. While we're going to the parking lot, I think I'm going to keep the visor open just a bit to get some air underneath here. So, a couple of things when you're new, okay? A lot of people will crash going at slow speeds. It's like anything, you know, if you're putting around at slow speeds in a parking lot, your chances of crashing are more than if you're just going straight down a street. Harder to balance going very slow in a parking lot. So once you got that down, balancing and going around corners and stuff, you should be okay to go out into the street. So what you want to do is pull the clutch lever in. I'm going to kick down right here, and now I'm in first. Now remember, I was in neutral. Watch. See the neutral light? So I'm going to pull the clutch lever in, kick down here, and watch the light. I'm in first. I don't have the throttle on, but watch as I release the clutch slowly. I'm not releasing it all the way. It moves the motorcycle forward, and I pull it back in, right? Now I'm going to give it a slightly bit of throttle. What I like to do is, at the same time, watch. Release the clutch, give it throttle slowly. Try this when you're new. Keep the throttle there, and now we'll go around here. Once you take the throttle out, see, you just leave the clutch lever out, I should say, not the throttle. This is the throttle over here. You can just kind of go around and practice stopping. So let's do that, and we'll go out on the street, and then we'll go out on the freeway. This is where a lot of people crash. You don't want to stop like right now when you're going around a corner. Always try to stop going straight. So what you do is you pull the clutch lever in, you pull back on the right lever, make sure your foot's ready to come down right here, and that's how you stop. Now when you're going, let's go again here. Let's go over here. Letting the clutch lever out. Now we'll get slightly speed, not real fast, and now we're going to stop again. Watch. Right before this line here, and you put your foot down. Clutch lever in still, and now I'm going to kick up and see it's in neutral. See how I did that? Now, very hot. I can't wait to get on the freeway to get some air in here. So the key is when you're stopping, keep the handlebar straight. Don't be stopping with it turned or you'll fall over. You'll see a lot of people do that. They'll tell you that at MSF course you want to do that. Another thing you can do, not to get sidetracked, but you should contact your local Department of Motor Vehicles. Let's put it in gear, letting the clutch out slowly. And when you contact the Department of Motor Vehicles, tell them that you want to take the written test, you know, with the pencil. Because in most states, you can check with your state, in most states, you can actually ride all by yourself on a motorcycle just with the written test. That's what they allow us to do out here in California. They'll give you a limited license where you can ride at daytime with no passengers and not on the freeway. And then once you take the driving test, or they call it the riding, R-I-D-I-N-G, hold on a second, watch, clutch in, and now we're braking. When you take the driving test, the riding test, R-I-D-I-G, then they'll let you ride it all time. So now watch, clutch lever out, slowly out. I'm still in first, right? Now when we want to go up to second, I'm going to put the clutch lever in and kick up again. So we're in first, so I'm going to do like a U-turn here. I got to hurry because these cars are coming here. Going to give it some throttle. Okay, we're in first, clutch lever in, kick up second. So once you go to DMV, clutch lever in, kick up third, and you take that written test, most states allow you to ride, you know, already. I was amazed by that. I'm like, man, here I've never ridden a motorcycle before. They're going to let me ride. You know, it's amazing. They'll let you do it with limitations. So I'm in third. What we're going to do is get in front of this guy at the light and get in the right lane. Still in third, right? Now we're going to come to a stop. So I wait till the tachometer is around 2 grand. Kick down, I'm in second. Notice how the tach goes up a bit. Kick down. Notice I'm not using the right brake here. I'm using the rear brake since we're going real slow. So we're in neutral, see? Now when you're getting on the freeway, You just want to, obviously, I'm just telling you guys from safety purposes, just keep your distance away from cars. Don't ride real close behind cars. I learned the hard way. What happened is I was riding behind some cars, not even really close, but you know, I didn't have a safe distance. This car ran over a steel bar or something, and it popped up and it almost busted my hand. Good thing I had my gloves on, but it totally broke off that front brake lever. This is a brand new brake lever, as you can tell. Okay, so we are now coming onto the freeway. Everything radically speeds up when you get on the freeway, so we're not going to stop. You're not going to have to stop around these corners here. Going to give it throttle. The lane's merging here, so I'm going to kind of hold back a bit. And I will be 100% honest with you. Most motorcycle riders will tell you the first time on the freeway it was terrifying. I will not lie. It is terrifying. You know, you're not used to being exposed to all these pieces of metal within inches of you, you know, and some of these drivers are nuts. Now, I shifted up to 6th gear. We're at 6th gear right now, moseying along at 6th gear. And another thing I would do is go to like Walmart or any sporting goods store, and they'll have these, or actual even hardware stores, they'll have these sponge earplugs, and they lower the sound like certain decibels to where you can still hear, but it's not giving you a splitting headache, because the sound is very, very loud on the freeway. It's very loud when you, especially when you hit these higher speeds, 65 miles per hour and such. And you can get that disease where you walk around and you hear ringing all the time in your ears. It could really damage your hearing. Plus, it makes the ride more enjoyable with the earplugs on. I can hear everything. I can hear if someone honks their horn. I can hear. It's just that it's muffled. It's quiet. You know, more quiet. What else could I tell you? Everyone always asks, you know, what type of motorcycle should I get? And this is kind of like, I hear this in the motorcycle world. People will say, oh, just start off on a 600 or start off on a Ninja 250 or whatever, right? Well, my thinking on that is you can't give the same answer to everybody, because some people are going to be like me, and let's say they're going to their job. Let's go over here. By the way, here's another thing I love about motorcycles. In California, I can ride in the HOV lane, the carpool lane. So whenever there's a lot of traffic, see this middle area right here? Right here, let me show you. They've designed this so motorcycles can go down the side when there's traffic on each side, right? So you kind of have your own little lane. They allow you to lane split here. But back to which motorcycle you should get. I've had a Ninja 250, which is a wonderful motorcycle, but for the freeways that I ride, I would just get so exhausted because it doesn't have a lot of power. And it's a very light bike. I mean, when I get these strong winds, I would be blowing all over the place. But then some of you guys, you're just going to be riding on the, see, and these are the trucks you got to be careful of. Let me get over here. Carpool lane's ending here, so let's go around this guy. I know someone whose friend got killed because a ladder flew out. He's a Harley Davidson rider. A ladder flew out of the back of one of these vehicles and killed him. You got to be careful around those things. But anyways, I had a Ninja 250, I've had 600s, I had 1,000, I had an old school ZX10, this is 1,000, and I just feel a lot safer with more power, you see. And a lot of people say, well, what's the big deal, Shock? The 250 will get up to 80, 90 miles per hour, whatever. I go, yeah, that's true, but the time it takes to get there when I'm getting on the freeway on-ramp or when I'm going up a big hill, you know, and I got big semis coming up behind me,